Join us for this week's One Man's Dreamboat segment with Florida Sportsman Boating editor George Labonte as we feature anglers who have already launched their dream. Florida Sportsman began these features 30 years ago, and the dreams just keep getting better.
Today we meet up with Alex Delsky and his son Sam. Alex had a 22-foot Aquasport when he was in college. He enjoyed fishing on the Space Coast offshore in this boat for years. Sold that boat. Fast forward several years later, Alex is married with a son. He decided it was time to build a boat he could take his son fishing on. He found a 1978 boat just like the one he had in college. We're going to have a look at it today. Well guys, it's a beautiful day here in Jupiter, Florida. Here with Alex Delsky and young Sam. Sam, you ready to go catch a fish?
Oh yeah.
Well, this boat is a 1978 Aquasport 22 family fisherman. It's got a kind of an interesting backstory here. Alex, why don't you tell me a little bit about how you ended up with this boat? It's kind of neat.
So in college, I had the exact same boat. I had an 82 model, and I was up in school in Orlando, and we fished out of Port Canaveral. And we would actually take the boat, if anybody's ever fished out of Port Canaveral, it's a ways to go offshore fishing there.
Definitely a ways to go.
And the boat ran great, and I loved the boat, and I ended up keeping the boat for a couple of years in college and selling it afterwards. And then 10 years ago, this guy was born, and when he was 2, I found this boat. I wanted something to take him out on, and I wanted something he could eventually grow into and use.
Sure.
So this boat worked out perfect for that. It was absolutely perfect.
Alex and his son love to do a bunch of different kinds of fishing. On this day, we decided we would go snapper fish. There's a lot of action for a young kid. It's a perfect day to give it a try. We set out and try and catch a couple snappers. While we were fishing, the wind picked up, got a little bit sporty for us, so we decided to head in Jupiter Inlet, pull up underneath the shadow of the Jupiter Lighthouse. I'd have a chance to talk to Alex a little bit about the build. All right, so you've obviously done a lot of work to this boat. You know, there's a lot of these old ones around, but most of them are in pretty rough shape. I mean, tell me a little bit about what you were up against when you started this build here.
That's exactly how it was. This one was pretty rough, which is exactly what I wanted because I wanted something that I could make my own. Structurally, the boat was good. The transom was perfect. I was lucky. It didn't have any rot. From 78, you would think that
Absolutely.
it would have some rot. It didn't. It was great, so I lucked out there. The fuel tank was shot. Built a brand new fuel tank that was patterned exactly. It was an 86-gallon tank. It went back in. Where the cooler is now, that is now the seat, the old seat that was there had made a soft spot in the deck. That was the only big soft spot we really had to fix.
Yep.
And above that, where the pedestal seat was, I had to fix that. Other than that, the deck, the stringers, everything else was fantastic. Even the cabin was great.
You got lucky.
I got very, very lucky.
The finish work looks really nice on the boat. Actually, the paint job looks really nice. I mean, it's a cool color. Did you all grip the whole boat?
I did. I started with 545 and then painted the whole boat, and then we used the all grip non-skid beads and texture on the floor.
Now, beyond outside cosmetics, I mean, there was some other mechanical things that you had to do to the boat too, obviously. I mean, little bits and pieces. What else have you got going on here?
I added modern day electronics, GPS, depth finder, stuff like that. I added a fuel flow gauge. I added a battery charger, so when the boat's sitting at dock or on the trailer, I can plug in, because I had 2 house batteries and a starting battery, so it's always nice to keep them fully charged.
You probably had to rewire the boat too.
There was not an ounce of copper in this boat when I started. I completely pulled everything out and started from scratch.
You know what, tell me about this seat here. That's a original drink box kind of helm pod thing, right?
That's correct. That was the original seat slash cooler at the time. I tried very hard to find a matching one to do on the other side like there was, but it's very difficult to find one. So ultimately, it was my gain to find a 250 quart cooler. It's tons of storage, it's fish storage, it's ice and drink storage, and it's a really functional seat.
Yeah,
so
it makes a great seat. Alex, tell me some of the advantages of this layout. I mean, you know, you see a lot of center consoles obviously around, but there's really a lot to gain from this kind of forward style family fisherman setup. Why do you like it so much?
So out here, trolling is really a big part of the fishing that we do, and I have outriggers for the boat, and this huge cockpit on a 22-foot boat, it is huge when we're talking 22 feet.
It is big, yeah.
Everybody
absolutely.
can come back here and fish, fight fish, and do everything you need to. And bottom fishing as well. There's plenty of room for people to be, you know, anchored next to each other and on the gunnels here, and bottom fishing with with plenty of room and not bumping into each other.
Well, you did a great job with the boat, Alex. I'm really happy you took the time to spend with us today.
And thanks for coming and see it.
Can I get a rain check on a not so windy day?
Absolutely.
Sounds good.
Great.
Thanks, buddy. Thank you, Sam. This project worked out really great for Alex. The way the boat turned out was exactly as he planned. He's got a boat he can pass on to his son when he gets old enough to have a boat. It was a win-win for both of them.
With an initial purchase price of $2,500, and after spending $17,000 in repairs and custom modifications, the cost of Alex's Dreamboat comes to a total of $19,500.